How to fix Umamusume, Pretty Derby Japanese version crashing on Steam startup. Welcome back to Teknobalta. During our recent deep dive into mobile to PC ports, we encountered a severe startup crashing issue with the Japanese version of Umamusume, Pretty Derby. Teknobalta's technical team immediately launched a full-scale investigation into the game's executable, network handshake protocols, and regional dependency files. Our analysis revealed that these crashes stem from a complex mix of geo-blocking, locale mismatches, and DMM player authentication failures. Today, we are sharing our exclusive, thoroughly tested diagnostic guide to permanently resolve these startup crashes and get your game running flawlessly. 1. Modify system locale to Japanese. Our initial testing showed that the game engine fails to read specific localized asset paths on Western operating systems. To fix this, navigate to your Windows region settings, access the Administrative tab, and change the system locale for non-Unicode programs to Japanese. We highly recommend restarting your machine immediately after applying this change to ensure the new language registry keys are fully loaded. 2. Establish a dedicated Japanese VPN tunnel. Teknobalta's network diagnostics confirmed that Cygames actively drops connection packets originating from non-Japanese IP addresses during the initial startup sequence. You must route your connection through a reliable VPN with a server physically located in Japan before launching the DMM Game Player. Ensure your VPN protocol is set to WireGuard or OpenVPN UDP to maintain a stable handshake during the authentication phase. 3. Synchronize Windows time to JST. We discovered a critical cryptographic token mismatch, occurring when the local system time differs drastically from the game server's expected timestamp. Open your date and time settings and manually override the time zone to Osaka, Sapporo, Tokyo. Force a manual synchronization with the Windows time server to align your local clock precisely with Japan Standard Time. 4. Purge the DMM Game Player cache. Corrupted temporary files within the launcher frequently cause silent crashes before the game window even initializes. Press the Windows key and R, type %appdata%, and completely delete the DMM Game Player folder found in the roaming directory. Our testing proved that forcing the client to rebuild this cache directory resolves a significant portion of authentication-related crashes. 5. Enforce global administrator privileges. The game's anti-cheat and telemetry modules require deep system access that standard user accounts cannot provide. Locate both the DMM Game Player executable and the Umamusume game executable in your installation folder. Access their compatibility settings and permanently check the box to run these programs as an administrator to bypass Windows user account control blocks. 6. Whitelist executables in Windows Defender. During our security audits, we noticed Windows Defender occasionally flagging the game's proprietary packed executable as a false positive. You need to access the virus and threat protection settings and manually add the entire Umamusume installation directory to your exclusion list. This prevents real-time scanning algorithms from terminating the process during its unpacking phase in memory. 7. Verify game file integrity via DMM. A single corrupted texture or script file downloaded during peak server hours will inevitably trigger an engine-level fatal error. Open the DMM Game Player, navigate to your installed games library, and use the built-in repair utility on Umamusume. This process forces a checksum validation against the master servers and re-downloads any missing or modified binary files. 8. Reconfigure IP for DNS servers. Our packet routing analysis highlighted severe latency issues with default ISP domain name servers attempting to resolve Cygames content delivery network. Navigate to your network adapter properties and manually assign Google DNS or Cloudflare DNS to your IP4 settings. Flushing your DNS cache via the command prompt afterward will ensure all new connections route through the optimized pathways. 9. Disable the IP6 protocol. We tracked several network timeout crashes back to the game engine, struggling to negotiate dual-stack IP4 and IP6 network environments. Simply unchecking the Internet Protocol version 6 box in your active network adapter properties forces the game to rely solely on the stable IP4 architecture. This completely eliminates the routing confusion during the initial server ping. 10. Perform a clean GPU driver installation. Outdated or conflicting display drivers are notorious for failing to compile the game's custom DirectX shaders on launch. Teknobalta strongly advises utilizing display driver uninstaller in safe mode to completely eradicate your current graphics drivers and registry remnants. Afterward, install the absolute latest stable driver package directly from NVIDIA or AMD's official repositories. 11. Terminate all background overlays. Our testing confirmed that third-party software attempting to hook into the game's rendering pipeline instantly triggers the anti-tamper protections. You must completely disable the Discord in-game overlay, GeForce Experience share features, and any active performance monitoring tools like Riva Tuner. Ensuring the game has exclusive control over the display buffer prevents these forced rendering crashes. 12. Repair Visual C++ redistributables. The underlying architecture of the game relies heavily on specific legacy Microsoft C++ runtime libraries to execute mathematical functions. Download the latest all-in-one Visual C++ redistributable package and run it as an administrator to overwrite any corrupted system files. Restart your PC to allow the Windows kernel to register the newly repaired dynamic link libraries. 13. Update DirectX runtime libraries. Missing DirectX end-user runtime binaries will cause the engine to instantly fault when attempting to initialize the audio or graphical subsystems. Execute the official Microsoft DirectX web setup tool to scan for and download any missing legacy components. Our diagnostics indicate this step is absolutely critical for users who recently upgraded to Windows 11. 14. Utilize Windows 8 compatibility mode. We observed that certain modern Windows memory management techniques interfere with the game's older memory allocation instructions. Right-click the primary game executable, navigate to the Compatibility tab, and force the application to run in Windows 8 compatibility mode. This restricts the API calls to an older standard, which stabilized the launch sequence on several of our test benches. 15. Expand system page file allocation. During the initial loading screen, the game dumps a massive payload of uncompressed audio and texture assets directly into system memory. If your physical RAM reaches capacity, Windows will terminate the application unless you have a sufficiently large custom page file configured. We recommend manually setting your virtual memory to at least double your physical RAM capacity on your fastest NVMe solid-state drive. 16. Execute a Windows clean boot. To isolate software conflicts, our team systematically disabled all non-essential startup services and applications. Open the System Configuration utility, hide all Microsoft services, and disable everything else before rebooting your machine. If the game successfully launches in this clean environment, you can slowly re-enable services one by one to identify the exact culprit. 17. Implement Locale emulator as an alternative. If you are unable or unwilling to change your entire system's Locale to Japanese, we successfully utilized the Locale emulator application. Install this open-source tool and configure a custom Japanese profile specifically for the DMM Game Player and the game's executable. This injects the necessary language parameters directly into the process memory without altering your global Windows configuration. Don't forget to follow Teknobalta for more.